Hello everyone, it's Hordemord with another unboxing video. This time I have something truly stinky. This might be one of the grossest figures I have ever had the pleasure to unbox, but we'll get into that in a moment. What we're going to be taking a look at today is Bandai's 2003 Ace figure, or as they're often referred to online, flexible action figures. Okay, weird name, but regardless, I can't really find much info or background about this figure. What I do know, however, is this specific set of Bandai figures are not cheap and will test your patience on online sellers, but what you get in return is a true relic. These figures look amazing and feature a few extra pieces like different hands, heads, and accessories to really make them feel complete. It also features a fully sized wanted poster of the characters. That's fucking awesome. But mine doesn't have that. As it seems, I got some strange alternate version of one of these figures, probably released in like China or something. Again, I couldn't really find much onto these, so if anyone might have any info, definitely let me know in the comments below. But yeah, this does just look like the same figure as the ones released in Japan in 2003. I mean, minus the wanted poster. It also is missing the flame effect, but I mean, I can live without it. No offense to the seller at all, but this is definitely the grossest figure I have ever unboxed. As you'll see shortly, I'm surprised the person selling it actually kept it around. I'm surprised they didn't get radiation poisoning. At least I think. Now feast your eyes on this toxic ace. Yeah, this is a violation of human rights right here. Why the hell is the clear plastic fucking green? Everything else seems to be in decent condition. The cardboard is starting to tear, however. I don't even know if this thing is safe to touch without contracting a disease. But I'll try to pass on. The back of the box shows other figures from this strange set, which are the exact same ones from the 2003 Bandai line. Luffy, Zoro, Sanji. It also includes some pictures of them, featuring Luffy smacking the shit out of a sea monster and Sanji, I could only assume, being censored from his war crimes by a warning sticker. The back of the box boldly states on the top, Age of Great Discovery. The man that had acquired everything in the world was the Pirate King, Gold Roger, who left the ultimate treasure, One Piece. Whoever finds it will acquire wealth, fame, power, all at once. At these words, men everywhere rush to seize and search for this treasure. The world now enters a great age of pirates. A small village known as Fuchsia, somewhere in East Blue, is where this story begins. Okay, so looking at the figure inside we see, well, I mean, it's our boy Ace, with his knife in a holster. Bit of an odd accessory. Even looking at the Bandai 2003 Ace, comes with an extra flame effect. I'm not sure why the knife is an accessory, and not just onto the figure. I wish we got like an extra hand or a different head, maybe one without the hat on. But regardless, let's get a high-class disease and open this thing. Oh yeah, don't you love when this happens? It drives me fucking crazy when this happens. Either way, we disconnect the toxic seal and, hey, let's look at the cardboard background real quick. It's actually pretty nice and well illustrated, clearly taken from the anime. It actually fits Ace pretty nicely. We see the Mary leaving him on an island. It also looks like Nami took some of the treasure before they left too. Alright, enough stalling. Jesus, this looks worse without the cardboard behind it. Almost looks like a brownish yellow. It looks so gross. Trying our best not to touch the biohazard, we got our Ace figure, and hey, that looks a lot better. Yeah, let's stall a bit more. Under Ace was a little manual thing. And hey, this is really cool actually. Love the Alabasta artwork on the front. And looking at the back, it boldly states the Age of Great Discovery. The man that had acquired everything in the world was the Pirate King, Gold Roger, who left the ultimate treasure. Whoever finds it will acquire wealth, fame, power, all at once. At these words, men everywhere rush to the sea in search of this treasure. The world now enters a great age of pirates. A small village known as Fuchsia, somewhere in East Blue, is where this story begins. Okay, so we open this up and we see we have bios of all the Straw Hats during the arc. Minus Vivi, of course. But these are actually really cool. I'm not gonna read through all of them, but just seeing the artwork onto these little bios is nice. And look here, they even added in a little stat bubble. What the fuck? That's pretty neat. But yeah, you got Luffy, Zoro, Nami, Usopp, Sanji, and Chopper. And I don't know what it is about this Chopper, but he looks cute, but terrifying at the same time. I think it's the hat or something, it just looks really off. But this time around, I'll be grading the presentation of this figure in its box and with the extra little pamphlet that you get inside. I'll give it a B-. While not as cool as the wanted poster, the little character bios do make for a neat little addition to the whole package. And the cardboard itself has a very nice background that's not too distracting. It doesn't really take much away from the actual figure itself, which is pretty good. And a very simple promotion on the back of the box. However, I'm not going to be docking any of the points for the terrifying condition this came in. It just doesn't seem really fair. Now for the main event. We finally got our ace, so let's open up this Toxic Avenger. And his arm fell off. That's already a good sign. Now, coming right out of the package, this looks great, but it's so sticky. Mainly his shoes, his belt, and especially his hat. He feels like the bottom of a cafeteria table. I just popped his arm back on and yeah, I've already had enough of this. This is a foul creature and it needs to be corrected. Ace, my little friend, you need a bath. So I'm leaving this thing in a little container of soapy water. It still comes out gross and sticky, but it eventually wears off. Just need to be persistent. Put him in the water for a bit, dry him off, put him back in. Eventually he'll get better. One day later, we finally get to look at the figure itself. And yeah, while being washed, he kinda fell apart. Almost looks like someone punched a hole through him. Thank God it's actually surprisingly easy to reassemble him. And we can finally take a look at him whole. He stands around 5 inches, so a little under average for figures I'm used to, but for the other One Piece figures I have, he'll probably work out relatively well. Let's start off with the details of this figure. I personally think they did an amazing job getting him as accurate as possible. The skin tone is spot on, and the face doesn't look too bad either, though the expression is a bit confusing. What is he, angry, happy, sad? Some sort of mixture in between? It's like looking at the Mona Lisa. There's a lot of great little details into this too, with the necklace, Ace's armband, and the amazing detail onto the tattoos, as well as even including his log pose. His pants also have some great colors, as they did a good job keeping the color palette pretty consistent. His shoes look very nice as well. Overall, he's very accurate to the source material. I mean, not the best looking figure around, especially with all the high-def muscle detail and crazy extra crap that they put into modern figures nowadays, but that doesn't take anything away from this figure. I still think it looks amazing, so I'll be giving this figure's detail an A-. Now taking a look at the articulation, the chest has very little movement, but it is sturdy, so it's not flopping around anytime soon. The legs are a bit disappointing, as they have some nice outward movement, but forward and back is very poor. Looks like all he's gonna be able to kick are shins. The knees do have some really nice movement, however. Both have a simple knee bend, but they also get a 360 swivel. The shoes also have very little movement to them, but same thing as the legs, they also have the swivel, so it is a plus. His left arm is very loose, which is why it keeps popping out, so be sure to just move it slowly and it'll work out just fine. His arms do have some really good movement and some very unique joints to them. I don't know what to call it, armpit joint? Sure, let's just call it that. So you can lift his arms with the armpit joint and swivel them back and forth. It's a very neat idea. I mean, I don't prefer it over like a Marvel Legend, but it is very unique and innovative for its time. Some nice elbow bends, an extra joint to make the arms swivel as well, give some more movement. And the arms are seemingly the best part about this figure. I'm just a little disappointed we couldn't have gotten more of this for the legs. And finally the head, a basic ball joint giving the head a little up and down movement with some fluid side to side. Not bad, but the head is still kinda sticky even after all the soaks in the water. I did the best I could to get most of it off, but this is as good as I'm gonna get it. Regardless, I'm gonna give the articulation a B-. For all the great ideas that it has, with the armpit joints, and all the other movement into the arms and the swivels for the shoes, all that is taken away by the lack of torso and especially leg movement. Let's get a look at Ace next to some of the other One Piece figures I own. From the same line, we have the still posed 2003 Bandai Luffy. He does measure pretty well with the Obby's buggy. Mattel's Captain Kuro towers over him, as well as, respectfully enough, the anime hero's Shanks. And finally, the figure we talked about last time, the P-Rips Don Krieg, that again towers over all. And taking an overall look at the figure, it pairs very nicely, especially with the Luffy from the same set, and I'm really happy to have this added to my collection. Even if I had to go through really gross packaging, I'm still very happy to have this as a part of my collection. Though a little restrictive on the leg movement, he will be pretty fun to animate with eventually. But for a final grade, I'm going to give this mysterious Bandai Ace action figure a solid B. With some decent packaging and a neat little bio chart, this figure excels in its great looks and detail with a charming color palette, but it does lose some of its charm with a sadly limited articulation in a few areas that outweigh some of the unique ideas they had making this figure. Overall, I'd say this was a risky success, but I'm happy to report after going to my local doctor's office, they were not able to diagnose what disease I conjured after opening up this figure. So that means that it's not bad, right? Thanks so much for watching. I had a lot of fun making this video for you guys, and I do have a very big unboxing planned for next time. Let's just say this is not the only 2003 Bandai figure I got my hands on. But I hope y'all enjoyed this video, and if you're new here, please give a like and subscribe if you enjoy this type of content. But if you want to look at some of my other stuff that I've posted, I also make stop motions, often with action figures. There's one of my favorite animations up right now, as well as my first unboxing video I made with the Don Krieg P-Rip figure I showed off earlier. So if you haven't seen that yet, please definitely take a look at some of my other videos. Thank you very much, and I'll see you all next time.